Hello and welcome to Booklist's Fall 2026 Youth Preview Part 1. I'm Julia Smith, a Books for Youth Senior Editor at Booklist. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open that email, scroll to the bottom, and click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by typing the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a section for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions, and will pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable them on your screen, please look for and click the Show Captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of them at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates this standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may, at the discretion of the organizers, be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Sam Devoda, Marketing and Sales Manager at Tundra Books, Natanya Thomas, Senior Publicist at Tundra Books, Nia Todd, Associate Marketing Manager, Education and Library at Simon & Schuster, Sandra Sutter, Owner and Publisher of Gnome Road Publishing, Kristen Luby, Director, School and Library Marketing at Abrams Kids, and Annie D. Garnish, Senior Marketing Associate at Highlights. We will kick things off today with the Tundra Book team. Sam Devoda is the Marketing and Sales Manager, School and Library, at Penguin Random House Canada. Since 2017, she has worked in both marketing and publicity for young readers' titles at PRHC and is now exploring the world of library sales, connecting with librarians and wholesalers across Canada, as well as the trade shows in the US, unless she's traveling for a concert. Natanya Thomas is a senior publicist at Tundra Books. She joined the team in 2025 and has worked with the publicity and marketing team to spread the word of upcoming releases. When she's not pitching media and organizing author events, she loves to travel, eat, and travel to eat. Thanks for being here, Sam and Natanya.
Hi, everyone. This is Sam speaking. Thanks so much for tuning into this webinar. Let's dive in with the next slide. Okay, I know this is a fall preview, but I couldn't resist telling you about a set of books coming out next week. Meet the Fungi Pups. Button, Dot, and Dollop are sure to be your new favorite trio of curious little woodland critters, and you'll get a chance to meet them this summer with 2 simultaneous books. In a beautiful song, the Fungi Pups are inspired to make their own song after hearing a bird sing. The only problem is none of them play instruments. And in A Star Wish, the trio heads out on an overnight camping trip to make a wish on a star, except the clouds get in their way. Don't worry, though, the Fungi Pups are great problem solvers. With gentle themes of nature, friendship, and creativity, these easy-to-read adventures with some panels are the perfect accessible introduction to comics for new and emerging readers, as well as fans of Michael Slack's previous books like Kitties on Dinosaurs.
Hi, I'm Natanya, and up next, we have a story stored to fetch your heart. Stray is a gorgeous and heartwarming picture book about a stray dog's journey to his forever home. There are a lot of perks to being a stray. No collar to restrain you, no leash to control you, no fence to contain you. You don't have to sit, roll over, or shake a pot. You do what you want. But being a stray can be lonely and sad. There's no one to play fetch with. Maybe a home wouldn't be so bad. This touching story explores the meaning of home, love, and trust through the eyes of a plucky street dog whose wild life eventually leads him to the caring arms of a new best friend.
You may be willing to let a stray dog into your home, but if a naughty-looking little gnome with a magical hat turns up at your door, whatever you do, don't let him in. In this new picture book from Hilda creator Luke Pearson, a family doesn't get the memo, and, well, chaos ensues. If you thought the cat in the hat was a trickster, wait until you meet this little troublemaker. From turning the rug into a pizza, to transforming Daddy into a biscuit, to opening an interdimensional door in the kitchen wall, you can't escape his pranks. Both kids and adults will laugh out loud with every page turn as the family works together to rid themselves of this mischief maker, making this an ideal read aloud for story times full of rambunctious readers. We already know how fantastic the Hilda series is, and this vibrant picture book is a worthy follow-up. Whatever You Do has already received a starred review, with Kirkus calling it appealingly strange, laugh out loud funny, and guaranteed to have children clamoring for more.
Next up, we have a joyous celebration of Jamaican food and of a Christmas to set the traditional song, The 12 Days of Christmas, a debut picture book by acclaimed author Salik Bennett. On the third day of Christmas, me grandma gave to me beef patties, 2 sorrel drinks, and some saltfish with ajo, plantains and bread cakes, breadfruits and yams, and don't forget the rice and peas. This playful twist on the classic Christmas song builds a delicious festive feast, Jamaican style. As Granny bakes roast and fries, her family prepares for the season, shopping and decorating and helping in the kitchen, hungrily watching the dishes come together. It is a joyful seasonal celebration of family and food. It even includes recipes for eggo and saltfish.
It's always hard to overcome the fear of the unknown, but if you need a little push in the right direction, Muriel can help. In Muriel and the Mystery, a little shrew is having a regular, ordinary day until she encounters a mystery. The mystery is unexpected, it's different from anything she's seen before, and it certainly doesn't belong in her daily routine. But when the mystery keeps popping up, Muriel eventually gives in and embraces the changes it brings to her well-ordered life. Muriel and the Mystery is just as cozy and slightly offbeat as other Tundra faves like Little Witch Hazel and the Hidden World of Gnomes, but at its core, it's a gorgeously illustrated story with a social emotional learning hook. Muriel challenges herself to get over her fear of the unknown and the anxiety that comes along with it, making this a great storytime pick for back to school or for readers facing down a new experience.
Next up is a personal favorite. A girl new to the game of Simon Says takes it way too far and becomes the ruler of a kingdom full of puppies and cakes in this hilarious picture book. After being unwillingly forced outside during recess, Fifi is shocked to discover dozens of kids jumping, spinning, and touching their toes, all at the same time. Why? Fifi's sister Leela explains the game Simon Says, and soon it's Fifi's turn to play part of the assignment. Everybody waits to do as they're told. Fifi feels big, she feels powerful, and she has a plan. Fifi is Luis's most delightful little despot in this hilarious picture book that explores the nature of power and powerlessness.
There have been a number of books recently about microscopic life, but this one is truly special. Meet Eon, a tardigrade who becomes the tiniest pet imaginable when an inquisitive girl discovers him through her microscope and decides to take care of him. But what could a tardigrade need? Furniture? Entertainment? Using paper, scissors, and her imagination, the girl creates mini habitats for her new pet and learns how to take care of tardigrades, eventually concluding that Eon needs to be set free in order to thrive. Featuring a mix of graphite drawings and intricate paper artwork from 2 incredible artists, as well as an author's note with more information about these little water bears, Eon is a stunning look at a resilient, microscopic superhero with a STEAM angle. It has already received great reviews, including a starred review from Publishers Weekly that called it a triumphant tardigrade tribute.
Next up, from the author of The Only Way to Make Bread, comes a picture book that's a scrumptious celebration of dance from around the world, from breakdancing to bhangra to ballet. What's the only way to dance? You'll need a beat. Any beat will do. You'll need a space. You'll probably want music, a full orchestra, some trumpets or violins, or the buzz and blare of busy streets. You might dance with a group or moving together to tell a story. You might dance with a family to celebrate something special. You might dance on your own to show who you are. What's the only way to dance? Your way. This beautiful celebration of all kinds of dance with delightful readers big and small. No matter how you like to dance, this book is for you.
Have you ever wondered what makes a sculpture? Is a statue a sculpture? A building? An ice cream cone? Acclaimed visual artists Diane Borsato and Laura Carlin are here to let you know that yes, those are all considered sculptures, and guess what? You can make one too. What is a Sculpture provides an overview of famous artworks from around the world, including a massive bronze spider, an arch made of river stones, a portrait made of chocolate, and more. Learn the basic principles of art and get inspired to look at the world around you from a new perspective. With plenty of ideas and prompts to get the creativity flowing, What is a Sculpture is the perfect book to hand to aspiring artists, sculptors, crafters, photographers, and makers of all ages. Come for the art history, stay for instructions on building kitty condos with recycled materials.
The Mizzy Mystery series follows Mizzy Mayhope, a sharp and funny 12-year-old with Down syndrome who's determined to become a detective. From suspicious secrets to neighborhood whodunits, she's determined to crack every case wide open. Equal parts humor, heart, and hijinks, the Mizzy Mystery series proves that when Mizzy is on the case, no clue is too puzzling and no mystery stays unsolved for long.
Our next middle grade offering is sure to crack you up. Omelette from the Other Side, the first book in the Ghost Chicken series. When 11-year-old aspiring journalist Florence eats a glowing green egg and uncovers the ability to see the ghost chickens flocking to her new house, she believes she's found a way to convince her parents to move back home. Of course, things don't go exactly as Florence plans, but her plucky attempts will have kids laughing all the way through. Full of oddball illustrations, Ghost Chickens is an excellent option for readers just graduating from chapter books, but has enough nuance and depth to appeal to a slightly older crowd as well. Hand this one to fans of Diary of a Wimpy Kid or any young reader struggling with a move to a new house.
Titan of the Stars is basically what happens if the Titanic launched to space and accidentally packed aliens. On the maiden voyage to the luxury starliner Titan, apprentice engineer Celeste and a reluctant rich kid Dominic are already navigating caste divides, family pressure, and life on a ship headed to Mars, where ancient extraterrestrial creatures escape containment and turn the voyage into an all-out nightmare. Part sci-fi thriller, part survival horror, and all adrenaline, this book traps its characters in a floating pressure cooker where no deck is safe, and no one gets priority boarding on survival. With sharp social commentary, terrifying creatures, and the constant feeling that the walls are closing in, Titan of the Stars asks this ultimate space question. What's worse than being stuck on a spaceship, being stuck there with aliens?
Aspiring filmmaker Wally has always thought that frequently vomiting was due to a delicate stomach and his debilitating headaches were just anxiety, until he wakes up in the hospital to the news that he has a golf ball-sized tumor pressing on his ear canal. Now, with a life-altering surgery looming over him, Wally starts to look inward, at himself, his family, his friends, and even a new girl named Ruby. I personally adored Salma Hussein's middle grade novel, The Secret Diary of Mona Hassan, and her YA debut, It's Not Over Yet, promises to be just as poignant, especially as it's inspired by Salma's own personal health experiences. Despite the realistic struggles and anxieties that come with an unexpected diagnosis, there's a layer of humor and heart throughout Wally's story that will appeal to fans of John Green, Adam Silvera, and Adib Khorram. If you didn't get enough of us today, keep an eye out for an upcoming Tundra exclusive webinar hosted by Booklist in August. We'll repeat some of today's books, but there will be tons of other titles to learn about, including some Indigenous content, the totally cute sequel to a Geisel Honor book, an introverted mushroom, a morbid pickle, and more. We'd love to stay in touch. Please feel free to reach out to us via email or on social media. If you'll be at ALA Annual later this month, make sure to swing by booth 2421 to say hi. Thanks for listening, and thanks Booklist for hosting this webinar.
Thank you so much, Sam and Natanya. Now we'll hear from Nia Todd. Nia is a Children's Education Associate Marketing Manager on the Education and Library team at Simon & Schuster. Ever since she was a child, reading has been her passion, so working with books is a dream come true. When she's not reading at her favorite coffee shop, she's usually working out with friends or attending the concerts of her favorite artists. Thanks for joining us, Nia. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Julia. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us all here today. And thank you to Booklist for pulling this together. My name is Nia Todd, and I am an Associate Marketing Manager at Simon & Schuster, specializing in educational marketing for children's books 4 through teen. We post tons of updates and new news and resources on our social platforms, which you'll see on the following slide, please. I'll tell you all more about this after the presentation, but I wanted to mention that we have a lot of really great resources and information at simonandschuster.net, where you can find downloadable reading and discussion guides, activity sheets, information about author visits and appearances, book and author award information, and resources to help with issues of censorship or banned books in your area, as well as so much more. Please check it out when you have some time. You won't be disappointed. My presentation today is a fun mix of new books and the return of some highly anticipated authors. Next, please. We are starting with a picture book from four-time Grammy Award-winning, Emmy Award-winning superstar, singer, songwriter, rapper, and actress who has shifted the sound, soul, and spirit of popular music, Lizzo. In this charming and inspiring debut, a little girl finds her voice with the help of a smart and sassy flute. It's a heartfelt, toe-tapping anthem to friendship, music, and finding your voice, starring the one and only Sasha B. Fluin. It'll be on sale September 8th. Next slide, please. I am very excited to introduce this next round of picture books, starting with my favorite. The game is tied at 7. A hush falls over the stands. Get up and stand, everybody. Here comes the band. From Ezra Jack Keats Award and Coretta Scott King John Steptoe New Talent Award winner Shadra Strickland comes a story about a young child who watches in awe as an HBCU band takes the field and works its magic. Next up, we have Horizontal Crocodile by Scott Rothman and illustrated by Brian Wong. When a very long horizontal crocodile gets ready for a visit from a friend, his list of chores makes for a long day. Then we have Freedom to Read by Lisa Klein Ransom and James E. Ransom. This beautifully illustrated book tells the biography of Mary Peak, a courageous teacher who started a secret school for Black children in 1823. Fun fact, her story and passion for education became the model for one of the first historically Black colleges, Hampton University. Next slide, please. Click Clack is back with another charming story to add to the beloved series. The littlest barnyard animals are losing their baby teeth. A lot of teeth. So many that despite her magical tooth-collecting powers, the fairy needs help. But who can step in her tutu and zip around without being seen? Duck. Wait, duck? Click Clack Tooth Fairy is a hilarious read about lending your friends a helping hand. Next slide, please. Now it's time to get into some middle grade. Houdini the octopus lives in an aquarium, but she misses her home in the wild sea. She doesn't like visitors who bang on her tank, or the way she can't feel the sun on her skin, or the wind rippling the water. It's a dull existence for a creature with 9 brains. Then, one day, she meets someone who's different than the others. This lovely, well-illustrated novel with environmental themes and an exquisite verse makes this a perfect crossover book for kids who love nonfiction. Next, please. Stuart Gibbs fans, buckle in because there are 2 more adventures for you to go on. Spy School East is the 14th book in the Spy School series, and super spy middle schooler Ben Ripley journeys to China to save the Hale family. Once there, him and fellow spies in training find themselves up against a villainous plot that will take them from the skyscrapers of Shanghai to the ancient ruins of the Great Wall, all the way to the remote regions of the Gobi Desert. And from the new series, Spy School Secret Files, comes totally true tales from World War II. Ben Ripley has always been impressed by super cool spies from movies, but there have been plenty of real spies throughout history that no one has heard of because they operated in secrecy on classified missions. But now, some of those amazing stories are declassified. Join Ben as he shares the true stories behind World War II's courageous spies, their inventive commanders, and the incredible things they did. This book is packed with maps, diagrams, and mission briefings. Next, please. Fall in love this fall with these cozy young adult novels. From the #1 New York Times best-selling author of Better Than the Movies, Lynn Painter comes Trust Fall, a rags-to-riches rom-com about a small-town girl whose family inherits a fortune and moves to New York City, where she meets a big city boy hiding an explosive secret. Then we have Falling Like Snow. A girl juggles planning her town's first ever winter festival and untangling her complicated feelings for both her best friend and the star hockey player in this charming book in the swoony Bramble Falls series that started with New York Times bestselling Falling Like Leaves by Misty Wilson. If love wasn't already in the air, Megan E. Freeman shows us there are multiple ways to experience it in The Secret to Belonging. From romantic love, platonic love, and to self-love, a neglected teen travels to Norway for a fresh start in this stunning coming-of-age novel in verse. Next slide, please. 10 years in the making, The Way I Used to Be trilogy concludes in The Way We Become by the New York Times bestselling author Amber Smith. Eden struggled to find her voice for years after her brother's friend Kevin raped her. It wasn't until Kevin's girlfriend Jen and his sister Amanda came forward that Eden knew she was no longer alone. Determined to do everything in their power to pursue justice, Eden, Amanda, and Jen testified against Kevin in a trial that turned their lives inside out. On 3 different paths towards healing, each girl must chart her own course forward to discover the woman she'll become. Next. Benjamin Alire says, author of Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, and its sequel, Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World, is back on the scene. When the World Was Happy is a heart-rending but uplifting tale of twins and their group of friends who are forced to navigate life, relationships, and grief after their world is turned upside down. Che knows he and his twin sister Emma lead an unusual life. They enjoy spending time with their parents and grandparents, love to read, and don't have a huge circle of friends, and they're happy. Then, just a few months after they turn 17, 3 gunmen show up one morning at their El Paso, Texas high school, and everything changes. Even though a school shooting takes place, it's not about the trauma. This novel is about the changes and healing that comes afterwards. Next, please. Finally, we have the long-awaited prequel to the New York Times best-selling and Prince Honor-winning Arc of a Scythe series by Neil Schusterman. And of course, as every child knows, December 2042 marks the end of the Age of Mortality. What no one has ever fully understood is how the world reached that moment. Discover Thunderhead's origin, the fragile moment before the world forever changes, and the hidden forces that set the storm in motion. Next slide, please. I'll close this out with a reminder about our resources at Simon & Schuster, including our book pantry brochure, which spotlights seasonal publishing perfect for your libraries and schools. We also have the Kaleidoscope program and brochure, highlighting our diverse publishing and voices each year. Volume 12 is now out, available to download at enlightensourshelf.com. And the full catalog of diverse titles from fall 2025 and summer 2026 is updated as well. For more information about censorship and fighting book banning, please visit booksbelong.com for resources from our Books Belong initiative, because books belong everywhere. All this information can also be found at simonandschuster.net, in addition to our reading and discussion guides and information about recent awards and reading lists. We're on Idlewise and NetGalley for upcoming title reviews. Please make sure your accounts are listed as librarians or educators, and of course, come find us on socials. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Nia. Next up, we have Sandra Sutter. Sandra is the owner and publisher, or top gnome, at Gnome Road Publishing. She is the author of 2 traditionally published children's books, a former attorney, mediator, and addictions counselor. She also is a mom/chauffeur of 2 active kids, a crazy cat lady, and fan of kind people. At Gnome Road, she focuses on producing high-quality children's picture books with what she calls the R factor, rereadability. Her hope is that every child can find at least one book they love in the Gnome Road collection. Take it away, Sandra.
Sandra, could you please unmute?
I'm sorry, it did not unmute when I pushed it. I just wanted to say thank you to Julia and to everyone for attending today. We're excited to be part of another Booklist webinar, specifically this youth preview. And although we have just picture books, we love hearing about all the middle grade and young adult coming out as well. We're going to be diving into the 4 upcoming releases that are shown on this first slide, but I will be sure to circle back on some of our newest releases at the end too. So let's start with the first slide. All right, this is Stories by Sea. A Lighthouse Library's Journey. This is written by debut author Jessica Iwanski, who writes with a lovely lyrical voice to showcase the fascinating tale of lighthouse libraries. These traveling library boxes began circulating in the U.S. lighthouse system in the late 1800s and were part of the official logbook of supplies sent to keepers and their families on special boats called tenders. The books were used for many reasons: pleasure reading, mechanical repairs, and religious studies, to name a few. This book takes the reader on a journey with a brass-bound case around a lighthouse circuit and back again, which is an adventure all its own. Angela C. Hawkins is a multiple award-winning illustrator whose most recent works include Masterworks and Nancy Best Had a Dress, the latter being a finalist for the 2025 Indies Picture Book of the Year. As you can see, she truly excels at illustrations involving historical elements. Stories by Sea has been named a Junior Library Guild Gold Standard selection and is a standout title among our fall collections. The key concepts, of course, are libraries, historical fiction, lighthouses, and STEM themes, but you're also going to find some fun animals in here and adventure inside the pages. The book releases September 22nd, and it's a perfect fit for school libraries and public library storytime hours. We've also included quite a bit of back matter and some further resources near the end of the book so that you can look into this really fascinating story even more. And if you look on the right-hand corner there, on the lower right-hand corner, that is part of the end pages, and Angela just really knocked it out of the park and included all kinds of lighthouses and fun things to look at. And she's also known for hiding mice in each spread, and little tiny ones, and they're fun to look for in all of her stories, but they are also included in this one. Next slide. Goat Math, an addition story. Carrie is the author of our award-winning title series, How to Hatch series, including How to Hatch a Reader and How to Hatch a Writer. I love the format for easy learning of basic reading and writing concept in those books so much that I asked if she would create something similar for math skills. And so we ended up with Goat Math. This first book focuses on addition strategies such as counting on, number lines, number bonds, tens frames, grouping, and equations. It's also an adventure story with light humor and a cast of goats that are, you can probably see it, in sweaters, with additional back matter on building addition skills and math confidence. It's a great book to have on hand for parents and early education professionals. Our key concepts here, of course, math and STEM, humor, the adorable goats, folktale side story references, and social emotional learning. I mentioned the author Carrie Gonzalez, but the illustrator is Bonnie Kelso, who has worked on several of our award-winning titles, including Nudie Gill, Poison Powerhouse of the Sea, and The True Story of Dexter, the Stand-Up Dog. Okay, next one. Backyard Stew. This is written by Heather C. Morris and illustrated by Deborah Schreiber. We've already received a glowing Publishers Weekly review of this title, which is certain to become a favorite storytime book. Heather is the author of one of our most popular award-winning titles called Trunk Goes Thunk, A Woodland Tale of Opposites, which is another story that gives love to the natural world. Backyard Stew is an invitation to readers who want to beat the boredom blues and use their imaginations to mix together ingredients found just outside their door for a make-believe stew. An adorable raccoon is seen working alongside a young girl as she prepares her first stew, and then tosses it out to start again with the help of the most important ingredient, which is some friends. Deborah Schreiber's illustrations match the whimsical, playful prose and will have readers turning the book upside down and back around again, all while imagining their own creative concoctions. Key concepts here, obviously the outdoors, creativity and imagination, friendship and adventure. Next slide. A Knot of Frogs, A Passel of Hogs, Recess with Collective Nouns. This is written by Claire Annette Nolan and illustrated by Susie O. Claire is the author of award-winning Nancy Best Had a Dress, which I mentioned earlier in regard to illustrator Angela Hawkins. She is a former librarian herself and seems to have a knack for producing great read-aloud texts. A Knot of Frogs is a highly interactive story where a class heads to the playground for a recess full of stomping, swinging, chasing, clapping, sliding, and much more, all while envisioning themselves as different groups of animals. Readers will no doubt follow along with their own movements and imaginative play. The rhythmic text makes learning collective nouns both fun and easy and gives the story that added layer of rereadability. We paired Susie O's blocky, textured artwork with this story to focus on the movements and fun cast of characters, which will no doubt grab readers' attention. The key concepts here are the English language, obviously collective nouns, animals like monkeys, cats, dogs, hedgehogs, seals, elephants, aardvarks, and more, teamwork, and physical movement. We feel this will be a classroom favorite as well as a good story time read for days that kids might need to get the wiggles out. All right, that is the last one on that. Okay, so I promised we would take a look back at what we just recently released. These are our spring 2026 titles. I called this the season of series and sequels, as all of these books are tied to at least one other from an earlier season. We've had some great reviews out on these books, with still more to come, including the newest on Owls Make Terrible Teachers in this month's School Library Journal. The first in that series was Alpacas Make Terrible Librarians, which was chosen as a 2025 Children's Book Council's Kids' Favorite. Finley, a Moose in Chartreuse follows the 2024 Indies Picture Book of the Year honoree Finley, a Moose on the Caboose. It's highly popular, so we love to see Finley back again. My Violin follows My Piano, which had a starred review from School Library Journal in 2023. Sea Suds follows Sea Smiles and Sleepy Sea, so it's the end of that series by Bonnie Kelso. She illustrated and wrote all of those. And then If Pets Wrote Poems, a parody collection, also a big favorite this season, is written by the author of Animals in Surprising Shades, and she has a poem that references back to her own work in that book. You can also see that each of our books has its own gnome logo. These are on the inside copyright page of each book that we produce. In case you missed that on our slides, make sure to catch the replay and find each one, or better yet, collect our books in your libraries and let your readers find them all. All right, next slide. All right, so this is my last slide, and I think if you press it again, the gnome comes up. I just want to thank everyone for listening. You can follow us by subscribing to our newsletter on our website, as well as finding us on almost all the social media sites. Orders can be placed directly through our website by contacting our distributor, Lakeside Books, or through any of your usual suppliers. We also have free books, free resources, and additional materials for each of our books on the website that can be downloaded there, as well as an early reviewer program that you can join if you want to have access for just reviewing for your collections or for any matter of reasons. You can find us on Edelweiss as well, but please feel free to reach out if you have questions or you'd like to be part of that early reviewer program. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Our next presentation will come from Kristen Luby. Kristen is the Director of School and Library Marketing at Abrams. Kristen fell in love with reading at her hometown library in Middleton, New Jersey, and visits her local Bay Ridge branch of the Brooklyn Public Library as often as possible. Thank you for joining us, Kristen.
Thanks, Julia. And hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here to share highlights from our fall 2026 list. So let's get started with a book for our littlest readers, Robin and the Moon. This is the second book in E.B. Goodall's charming series starring your soon-to-be favorite character, Robin. The first book, Robin and the Stick, published in April and has received 3-starred reviews. Robin and the Moon has also received its first star. And we have a third book, Robin and the Flowers, coming in spring 2027. Next slide. This series is a gentle celebration of growing up as a young child experiences little triumphs in big ways. In this second story, Robin notices the moon stuck in the trees outside their window. Oh no, Mama says not to worry, but Robin is worried. Next slide. As Robin drifts off to sleep, bedtime anxieties fade into a dreamy nighttime adventure. Can little Robin free the big moon? Next. Okay, everyone, now it's time for a parade. Why? Because Gabby said so. A Very Good Parade is the highly anticipated picture book debut from award-winning cartoonist Eleanor Davis. This laugh-out-loud, funny, and truly heartwarming picture book celebrates kindness, community, inclusivity, and imagination. It would make the perfect read-aloud for story time. Next slide. Join the hilariously bossy yet kind Gabby as she leads a parade through her neighborhood, gathering neighbors as she goes, encouraging them to share their special talents in the parade. Everyone is welcome to join the parade as long as they're nice. Can you crab walk? Do you know all the words to staying alive? Do you have a pair of really great boots? Then you too can join the parade. Even if you're Miguel and you have a horn that you don't really know how to play, Gabby doesn't give two toots. Join the parade, and maybe if you try very hard, next slide, Baroompa! Wow, that really was a very good parade. And if you don't believe me, you're just going to have to join the parade and find out. And now it's time for the next book. Why? Because Gabby said so. Next, we have a sweet story perfect to share during back-to-school season. Splendidly Saucin follows a young neurodivergent Palestinian-American child named Saucin as she learns to navigate her emotions. Saucin is a dreamer, a storyteller, and a painter. Her imagination and energy is boundless. Next slide. But at school, sometimes her emotions get too big and too bursty. Her desk is disorganized and her classmates call her an interrupter. Saucin tries her best to be polite, but sometimes she has meltdowns. She feels rude, messy, and impatient. Next slide. Then Saucin meets a doctor who tells her that she's not bad or abnormal. She's splendid, just the way she is. Together, they work on strategies to help Saucin manage her emotions. And in the end, Saucin makes a friend who truly sees and understands her. This is an affirming and relatable tale that will speak to a lot of parents and families and anyone who sees the world a little bit differently, because that can be a truly splendid thing. Next. TikTok star and educator Geo Rutherford is back with a companion to her New York Times bestseller Spooky Lakes with a brand new deep dive into spooky rivers. Geo is the creator of the hit Spooky Lake Month series on TikTok. She has over 1.8 million followers, and this book will appeal to her many fans and new readers alike. Next slide. Plunge into the strangest and most fascinating rivers around the world if you dare. With stunning art, plenty of spooky appeal, kid-friendly voice, and tons of STEAM content, Geo is an expert at getting kids engaged with science. Next slide. From deadly whirlpools to lost cities submerged beneath their waves, these rivers challenge everything we think we know about the natural world. There are rivers that catch fire, rivers that boil, and rivers so deep they seem bottomless. Some slither beneath the ground you stand on, while others vanish without a trace. Who knew rivers could be so spooky? Next, sticking with nonfiction, I have two new picture book biographies to share. First, A Poem for Dudley Randall is the first ever picture book biography of Dudley Randall from award-winning author Don Tate with absolutely stunning artwork from acclaimed illustrator Laura Freeman. Dudley Randall was a poet, publisher, and a leader of the Black arts movement of the 1960s. Next slide. The story follows Dudley from his childhood. His first published poem appeared in the Detroit Free Press when he was only 13 years old. He continued to write inspired by the poets of the Harlem Renaissance, and as he grew older, he realized that his voice could be powerful. Next slide. During the civil rights movement, Randall wrote the Ballad of Birmingham, and suddenly the world was paying attention. But Randall knew that most publishing companies were ignoring Black writers. So in 1965, he founded the groundbreaking Broadside Press to give a platform to Black creatives like Audre Lorde, Gwendolyn Brooks, Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, and more. This stunning tribute celebrates an artist who gave back to his community and an entrepreneur who built a Black publishing empire. It touches on key moments in Black and American history, including the Great Migration, the Civil Rights Movement, the Harlem Renaissance, and the Black Arts and Black Pride movement. Several of Randall's poems are also featured throughout the text. And next, from Margarita Engel and Newbery Honor winner and former Young People's Poet Laureate, and Jacqueline Alcantara, who is a New York Times bestselling illustrator, Wilfredo's Lamb introduces young readers to the celebrated artist Wilfredo Lamb in this first picture book biography of his life and work. Next slide. In a village on the tropical island of Cuba, a boy named Alfredo Lamb loved to draw his surroundings: hot blue air, cool green leaves, and brilliant flowers. His parents encouraged his talent by sending him to art school, where he learned to paint traditional landscapes and Eurocentric subjects. Next slide. But as he grew older, Lamb paid tribute to his Cuban, West African, and Chinese heritage through his art, which brought dignity and respect to Cuba's rich mix of cultures. Inspired by his connections with renowned artists like Pablo Picasso and Frida Kahlo, Lamb blended European Cubism and surrealism with multicultural influences to create his own unique style. This story includes some truly stunning spreads featuring illustrations and references to his paintings, as well as back matter with more info on his life. Next up, young comic fans will love Penguin Picnic. From award-winning bookmaker and cartoonist Liam Francis Walsh, this story follows siblings Penny and Albert Penguin, who just want to have a picnic, but they can't agree on the perfect spot to set down their blanket. This spot is too noisy. This spot is too sunny. This spot is taken by a hungry polar bear. Next slide. After a whole lot of searching and a little bit of running for their lives, the two decide they are sick of looking and rather have lunch by themselves. But they quickly realize it's the people or the penguins you are with who make a place perfect. Next slide. This hilarious and heartwarming picture book is all about friendship, the magic of compromise, finding patience, and enjoying the outdoors with the penguins that we love. The next book is one of my very favorites because it's set in a library. Get ready to go to Fox River Comics Camp at the library from award-winning cartoonist and educator Kathy G. Johnson. This is both a fun story and an interactive guide filled with activities following 5 young animal artists who are excited to learn all about comics and how to make them. Next slide. Each camper encounters different challenges and finds creative solutions by working together, from Fawn, who is a skilled artist but struggles to finish their drawings, to Ducky, who falters when their art doesn't look exactly like the comics they love to read. Next slide. Raina Telgemeier and Scott McCloud said Fox River Comics Camps is a great book for kids who want to learn to make comics, and we know because we were those kids. Next up, 2 new books from Jeff Kinney is double the fun. We have a new book in the Awesome Friendly Kids series coming in August. This is the second Spooky Stories collection from Greg Heffley's best friend, Raleigh Jefferson. Read it if you dare. And we have book 21 in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, Fight or Flight. When the going gets tough, what's a wimpy kid to do? Greg Heffley faces his biggest challenge yet as he becomes a target for the school bully. Will Greg step into the ring or throw in the towel? One thing's for sure, this book is a knockout. Next, speaking of Jeff Kinney, he called Grant Snider's new book a hopeful and wholly original work that every kid should read. The Year I Stopped Drawing is an illustrated middle grade novel in verse from Grant Snider, who you may know from some of his adult books like Poetry Comics and I Will Judge You by Your Bookshelf. Adam has always been the kid in school who could draw, but this year everything feels off. His parents are fighting, a bully is picking on him, there's a new artist in school, his life is changing so much faster than he can keep up. As Adam's world turns upside down, he can feel his love of drawing slipping away. But who is Adam without his art? Featuring Grant's illustrations throughout the story with short and accessible text, this is a relatable novel in verse about overcoming perfectionism, discovering the power of art, and surviving 7th grade. Next, I am thrilled to share Frances Hardinge's new book. This is her first YA novel in several years. She is a hugely acclaimed author, garnering multiple starred reviews, awards, and reading lists, and Trader's Nest already has 2 glowing starred reviews from PW and Kirkus. This is a highly readable epic fantasy that combines adventure and romance with Frances's lush and stunning writing. We really view this as a breakout book for her. It's perfect for fans of Tamora Pierce and Victoria Aveyard. This story is set in a world where castles are moved around the realm by gods and ordinary villagers are just pawns in their great game. When an anonymous new castle arrives in a peaceful village, 16-year-old Burr decides he's had enough. What starts as a plucky coup escalates and the stakes become higher than the tallest towers and every move counts. Burr must work together with his sisters and friends to unravel the secrets of the great game before he becomes just another casualty. And next, I have a trio of swoon-worthy romances to share. The Siren's Kiss is for fans of Daughter of the Pirate King. This is a swashbuckling YA queer fantasy, romantasy, about a mermaid and a pirate who reluctantly join forces to find the sea witch who holds the key to their freedom. High School Musical meets Dirty Dancing in Too Hot to Tango, a feel-good queer romance with high stakes, hot tango, and camp hijinks delivered by 2-time Emmy-nominated writer E.E. Salo and acclaimed cartoonist Megan Kearney. And Red Flags is a delightful YA rom-com debut following 2 teens who are dared by their friends that they must stick with the person that they date next instead of bailing at the first sign of a minor red flag or the first time they get the ick. Neither of them really want it to work out, but despite their flaws, they might just find that there is a lot to love. And finally, National Book Award winner Kaysen Callender has crafted a new moving and tender queer love story in Sun Chasers. As with Kaysen's previous work, this story centers queer, trans, and BIPOC characters, and Kaysen explores heavier topics like depression, anti-trans harassment and harm and abuse with an incredibly sensitive hand. In this love story, we meet Cole and Gabriel. Cole is hiding secrets, including domestic abuse at home, and he even starts dating a girl to avoid questions about who he's really attracted to. But he can't seem to hide how drawn he is to Gabriel. Gabriel wishes he could disappear, but he can't escape the people who misgender him, who threaten him. He's haunted by memories of his painful past. As Cole and Gabriel slowly start to share their struggles with each other, their connection becomes a lifeline. But can a young love survive in a world determined to tear them down? And I think that's it from me. On the next slide, you'll see my email. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or requests. You can find our full catalog on abramsbooks.com and on Edelweiss. And thanks so much for tuning in. And back to you, Julia.
Thank you so, so much. I'm very excited to see that there's a new Frances Harding coming out. She is one of my faves. But now we have Annie. Annie Garnish is, I'm so sorry, my script got out of my sight. Here we are. Annie Garnish is a senior marketing associate at Highlights. For the past 9 years, she's helped bring engaging books to the market through creative campaigns, cross-functional collaboration, and strong relationship building. Bring us home, Annie.
Thank you, Julia. Hi, everyone. I'm Annie Garnish, Marketing Associate here at Highlights, and I'm excited to share what we have coming up this fall. So if you get to the next slide. But before we dive into the books, I wanted to take a moment to give you all a little background and explain the reach Highlights has with families and children. You probably know us from the magazine that's been sitting in pediatricians' waiting rooms since 1946. In that time, we've mailed over 1.37 billion magazines worldwide and reach 1.4 million families every single month through our wide product mix of magazines, subscription boxes, clubs, early childhood initiatives, and books. That's 80 plus years of trusted children's content, and that trust is something we do not take lightly. The magazine started above a car dealership in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, with a simple belief that children are the world's most important people. Everything we create, every puzzle, every story, every joke, is designed to help kids grow into curious, creative, caring, and confident individuals. And in recent years, we have taken that same philosophy and really expanded and branched into different formats. If you go to the next slide, you'll see here, while Highlights Press is probably best known for our puzzle and activity books, we've really expanded into a much wider range: joke and humor titles, early learning board books, nonfiction, picture books, and formats specifically designed for reluctant readers. There is something here for every patron who walks through your doors. And that's exactly why Highlights is such a strong fit for library collections. The same purposeful, joyful philosophy behind the world's most read children's magazine is now driving our entire book program. One thing to keep in mind as we go through our titles today, on every book slide, you'll see a small pencil with a line through it symbol. That means that the title is non-consumable. Kids don't write in it, so it can be checked out, enjoyed, and circulated again and again. You can go to the next slide, please. Okay, let's get into the books. Escape Rooms is exactly what it sounds like. Kids step into 6 thrilling adventures: escape the dinosaur planet, the wizard's castle, the school, a haunted cheese factory, a video game, a spaceship, all without ever leaving their chair. Each of the 6 escape rooms contains multiple interconnected puzzles that build towards a final escape challenge. Readers solve clues throughout the room, then use those answers to crack a final code, a spell, or solution before moving on to the next adventure. And here's what makes this perfect for libraries. You don't have to write in the book. Every adventure is completely replayable. That pencil symbol you see, non-consumable. It can be checked out, enjoyed, and loved by the next kid who picks it up. Hardcover, 48 pages, ages 8 and up, on sale October 13 at $16.99. Next slide, please. This is the intro page that sets the tone perfectly. It immediately pulls the kids in and makes them feel like the hero of their own story. Next slide. And here you can see the wizard's castle. You can really see how the puzzles layer and build on each other. Next slide. The design is rich and immersive. This is the kind of book that gets kids to put their screens down. And next slide, please. Next up, we have a beautiful addition to our board book collection, We're Better Together by the wonderful Eileen Spinelli. Through vibrant illustrations and simple lyrical text, this board book teaches even the very youngest of children, ages 2 to 5, that they can make a difference in the world. It celebrates people coming together to solve problems, support communities, and honor differences. For libraries serving young families, this one carries the kind of message that resonates every single time it's read aloud. Non-consumable, durable, and built for your littlest patrons. On sale September 1st at $9.99. Next slide, please. And you can see exactly why this messaging is so resonant right now. Just listen to this. We're better together when we play. We take turns on the swings, play circle games, and tag. Together we have more fun when everyone joins in. Simple, sweet, and something even a 2-year-old understands. That's Eileen Spinelli at her best. Next slide, please. So last year, Highlights launched a series called Who Am I? For kids ages 4 to 8. Each book combines rhyming animal riddles, photo puzzles, and fun facts to spark curiosity about science and the natural world. Our newest title is Who Am I, Penguins and Other Birds? And it turns science learning into read aloud guessing game that kids genuinely cannot resist. It features gorgeous end papers that make it something special even before you get to page 1. Hardcover, $14.99, on sale October 6th. And yes, that pencil symbol is there. Non-consumable, replayable, library perfect. Next slide, please. Here's how it works. Kids open to a clever, fact-based riddle alongside a distorted photo of a mystery animal. They try to solve both the riddle and the photo puzzle, then flip the page for the big reveal, along with amazing fun facts brought to life through cool photos and delightful illustrations. Next slide. And there are bonus mystery animals to hunt for throughout, an extra layer of fun for kids who want to keep going. Next slide. Each title in the series also wraps up with a glossary and a fun quiz, great for reinforcing what kids learned and keeping the engagement going after the last page. Next slide. You can see the full series arc here with new titles planned through fall 2027. It's a series with real staying power and a strong one to have on your shelves as it grows. Next slide. The entire series is written by award-winning author, children's author Jodi Jensen Schaefer, and every single fact in every book is vetted by a subject matter expert, which is something we're really proud of. Jodi has written more than 70 books for children and has earned an impressive list of honors: an STA Outstanding Science Trade Book, Crystal Kite Award winner, Sybil's Award finalist, and more. She's also available for school visits, which is a wonderful connection point for library programming. Next slide. Next up is the Highlights Book of Things to Do, and this one has a real track record. The hardcover edition has already sold over 140,000 copies, and now it's coming out in paperback with a fresh, refreshed cover. What makes it so great is the sheer variety. 500 plus screen-free activities across 372 pages. Kids can create comic strips, learn magic tricks, go birding, make salsa, run science experiments. Every time a kid picks this up, they find something different to try. It genuinely sparks new interests and builds real skills, and that's why kids return to it again and again. Next slide, please. And you can see the range here. Building a real working bird feeder, making pop-up and pull tab cards with paper. These aren't throwaway crafts. Kids are learning engineering, creativity, and patience through activities that don't feel like work. Next slide. And it keeps going. Chalk games and 3D sidewalk art, clay food sculpting. Every activity has clear step-by-step instructions so kids can actually do it, not just look at it. You can go to the next slide. Next up is the 2027 Almanac of Fun. 304 pages of puzzles, jokes, crafts, quizzes, and fascinating facts, all organized around holidays, quirky observances, and historical moments throughout the year. For kids ages 6 to 9, it's the kind of book that makes every day feel like there's something worth celebrating. It just went on sale yesterday, June 2nd, at $14.99. You can go to the next slide, please. Each month has its own mix of puzzles, recipes, word searches, fun facts tied to real holidays and observances. February has a Black History Month word search and a Valentine's Day recipe. January is full of food holidays kids will get a kick out of. It pairs beautifully with a companion calendar that keeps the fun going all year. Think of it as a resource that gives you something to celebrate every single month. Next slide. And our last title is Laugh If You Dare, the joke book that doubles as a game. Kids take turns telling hilarious jokes, and anyone who laughs has to face a goofy dare. 256 pages, travel-sized, and it turns any gathering into a laugh-out-loud showdown. Here's what I really like about it for libraries, too. It's Laugh If You Dare is simultaneously published in both paperback and hardcover at $14.99. And that's true across many of our joke books. The hardcover editions exist specifically for library circulation. Next slide. You can see how it works. The jokes are organized by theme, like this Farm Funnies chapter, and each section comes with its own dare list. 10 dares, each more ridiculous than the last. Pretend you're a goat accepting an award. Invent a chicken dance no one has ever seen before. Kids absolutely love it. Next slide. And Laugh If You Dare is just one title in a robust joke book lineup. These books engage reluctant readers, get passed around, and get requested by name. We also just created an evergreen joke activity kit. You can find it in the QR code here, or you can send us an email to request it. And next slide. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure sharing what Highlights has coming out this fall. My email address is there, as well as our sales director, Todd Jones. And if you are going to be at ALA, come visit us at booth 2917. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Annie, and a huge thank you to all of today's wonderful panelists. Tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's video recording, slide presentation, title list, and a certificate of completion. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones like those you see here. You can also find out about the latest webinars on our social channels. 150 years of empowering library professionals, advancing access to knowledge, and protecting the freedom to read. Since 1876, the American Library Association has embodied America's aspiration for knowledge and democracy, championing the professionals who make that promise feel real every day. Scan the QR code on the screen or visit ala150.org to learn how you can join in helping to shape the next 150 years of libraries. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. And a huge thank you to our panelists and sponsors, Tundra Books, Simon & Schuster, Gnome Road Publishing, Abrams Kids, and Highlights. This concludes today's webinar. See you next time.